Hey guys, I'm Sam and I'm having a Heaven Officials breakdown. Today I'm going to be once again talking about Heaven Officials blessing, and this time I'm going over my favorite romantic moments between Hua Cheng and Jilian throughout the entire series. Now, the girlies with Hualian brain rot know that every time these two characters are in a scene together, that's my favorite romantic moment from the book, okay? Every moment where they're talking is my favorite romantic moment. So I had to get really specific and narrow down the moments that make me the most feral. So first up, we have to talk about when Hua Cheng and Jilian share a bed after only having known each other for 20 minutes. MXTX is doing the only one bed trope right out the gate. That's why she's on another level that no one else will ever be able to reach. So you've got Jilian, who knows that Sanlong, who he literally just met, is probably a powerful ghost in disguise. Okay, but he's still like, yeah, if you don't have anywhere to stay, you can just come chill at my place. I only have one bed though. Hope you don't mind sharing. And then Hua Cheng is over here vibrating at an intense frequency, like, oh yeah, no big deal, that's fine. I didn't even care at all. It's not something I fantasize about all the time. That's finally happening. So then they're sharing a bed, and then they're having this conversation where Jilian is like, yeah, so my temple is dedicated to the crown prince of Jinla. Hopefully I pronounced that right. Hopefully I pronounced all these names right, but we're doing the best we can. So he's like, yeah, I don't know if have you heard of this crown prince guy? And Hua Cheng is like, yeah, I've heard of him. Not that I have like an entire cave of statues dedicated to him, no, but I've heard of him, in passing. And then the next morning, Hua Cheng gets up before Jilian and paints a portrait of him for the temple. And it's like a beautiful, gorgeous portrait that very perfectly captures what Jilian looked like the day that he originally saved Hua Cheng's life. And Jilian gets up and sees this, and he's like, wow, you really do know who this crown prince is. And Hua Cheng is like, oh yeah, it's just something I picked up in passing, just something I have a good memory, whatever. Like he acts like it's no big deal, but we know that it is a big deal. We know that this is a very big deal to him. Okay, next, still in book 1, we have to talk about when Hua Cheng sucks the scorpion snake venom out of Jilian's hand. Bro. Guys, okay. So this scene really undid me. This is when I really became truly undone, because first of all, Jilian catches the scorpion snake to protect Hua Cheng. And then Hua Cheng is so upset that Jilian got hurt protecting him that he explodes the scorpion snake with his mind. Then he sucks the venom out of Jilian's hand. And the TV show did it so good. They did it so right, because they have him kneel down to suck that venom out, and I swear, I'm swooning. Jilian's swooning, I'm swooning. It's such a good moment. Oh my god. And then for the rest of like that next part of the book, Hua Cheng is just like all like mad at himself and brooding and beat up because he let Jilian get hurt protecting him, which like Jilian is immortal, like he's fine, but Hua Cheng is just like devastated, I can't. Oh, it's so fucking good, dude. Now I gotta talk about the sinner's pit, dude. Okay, so Jilian falls into the sinner's pit. Hua Cheng catches him in his true form, by the way. And of course you have the moment where Hua Cheng is like, you don't care that I'm like a demon? And Jilian is like, no, I don't give a fuck. Like, you're nice to me and hot, so like, who cares? But then the real moment, the real part in that whole scene that gets me is when Jillian is like, okay, you can put me down now. And Hua Chung's like, no, the floor's too dirty. Bitch, shut up, dude. He's like, oh no, the floor is too dirty. I simply cannot put you down. I cannot have you stepping in blood right now. Absolutely not. Oh, it's those little moments like that like, oh my God, that get me just like, I can't even talk about it and sound coherent and normal, because what this scene does to me, and then, you know, when they get back to Jillian's little place after all that's happened in book 1, and then they're kind of like chatting and they reveal that they know who each other are. Jillian's kind of like, okay, if you're like Hua Chung, the Ghost King, then what are you doing here? And Hua Chung is kind of like, maybe I came here just to see you. Shut up, dude, shut up. And then they share a bed again. And the next morning, Jillian wakes up, Hua Chung is gone, but Hua Chung has given him his ashes in the form of a ring. Okay, so book 2 is amazing, iconic, incredible. I mean, there's so much to talk about in book 2, but honestly, for time, I just have to go ahead and skip to book 3, because that's really where my favorite moments are. And it's a lot of like little things, you know? Like, obviously I love when Hua Chung unleashes like 3,000 lanterns just for Jillian. That's incredible. But where we follow up after that in book 3, guys, okay, because let's get into it. First, you've got Jillian pretending to be a pregnant woman so that he can get this angry ghost spirit captured. Wild. Then he's in the water and Hua Chung appears out of nowhere, saves him. And again, Jillian is immortal, but Hua Chung gives him air, breathes air into him by kissing him, by passionately kissing him underwater. That's how he saves him. And that's really where the kissing to share spiritual power nonsense starts off. They're like, oh, we're just sharing spiritual power with our mouths passionately. Like, that's where that starts, is in that moment right there. And then when they end up back in Ghost City and Hua Chung realizes that Jillian's foot is injured, and he's like, oh, well, above all else, I gotta take care of that. I gotta make sure you're okay. And of course, Jillian is like so flustered and embarrassed because they just like made out. And he's all like, oh, where's my hat? Nah, and like being weird. And Hua Chung just like picks him up and carries him back to his little castle in Ghost City. And he has Jillian sit down, and then he goes and he like tends to his foot injury, and it's just so like tender and sweet, because Jillian has been through so much shit that he has to kind of like put on sort of a front about things. But Hua Chung is like, hey, I'm gonna tend to your wound, and if it hurts, like, just let it out, you know? And Jillian actually feels like he can be vulnerable with him, like he feels safe with Hua Chung. And just, oh, it's such a good scene. It's such a good scene. And then when they're like exploring Ghost City together and interacting with all of the chaotic ghost characters, and Jillian is so nice. He's being so nice to everyone. Hua Chung is literally like, fuck you guys, I don't give a fuck about you, like ignoring everyone who isn't Jillian. But Jillian's really trying to like vibe with all of these like wild ghost creatures. And then they get to the point where, you know, like Jillian is like eating the food that these ghosts are offering, and because he's paying attention to him, because he's clearly friends with Hua Chung and he's paying attention to them, like all of the ghosts are like flocking toward him, and he's just trying to make nice conversation. And then you've got Hua Chung just sitting there staring at him, just smiling. Because he loves him so much. Just like, he just loves him so much. And it's so... They go to the little 1,000 Lights temple. Obviously, I'm saying the English translation name because I'm so bad at pronouncing the actual name. But they go to the little temple, and Julian is like, did you make this temple just for me? Like, dedicated to me? And Hua Chang's like, oh yeah, I just thought it would be funny. You know, whatever. Hope you're not offended. Of course he's not offended, you idiot. And the way he plays it off, like, oh yeah, I just casually did this. Like, I was bored. You know, that's so, it's so funny. It's so funny. It's so good. And then they get in there, and Julien is like, well, you should write a sign for it. And Hua Chang is like, you want me to write? And Julien's like, yeah, why not? And Hua Chang's like, dude, I can't fucking write. He's like so embarrassed because he doesn't want Julien to see how bad his handwriting is. And then they're like writing together, and Julien's like teaching him calligraphy. That's all one scene for me. That whole moment, that whole like several chapters, it's just so... Then I have to talk about the part where like later, Hua Chang actually like retrieves Julien's bamboo straw hat for him, and Julien is like so embarrassed that he even did that because he was only freaking out about losing it as like a reaction to how awkward and embarrassed he was about making out with Hua Chang. And then he makes dinner for Hua Chang, and of course we love that Hua Chang is the only person who loves Julien's nasty ass poison food. But then after they eat together, Hua Chang is like, let me do the dishes for you. First of all, swoon. Swoon right there. And then Julien is like, oh, no, you don't have to do the dishes. You're a guest. But Hua Chang insists on doing the dishes. And then when Windmaster and Earthmaster show up to take them on this whole little like crazy Blackwater arc, they show up and they see Hua Chang in the background doing the dishes for Julien. This is such a tiny specific moment, but the way it made me swoon, dude. Like, there's nothing sexier than a man begging to do the dishes for you. I mean, come on. Like, it's like, okay, maybe I'm out of left field here, but it's like how no one chooses to ever become sexually attracted to Danny Tanner. It's just something that happens to you when you reach adulthood very unexpectedly. When you have to do a lot of chores around your house and you don't like doing them, there's nothing sexier than a man begging to do them for you. Incredible. Incredible. Then we're getting into the whole Blackwater arc, and I love the part where they're like basically playing like strip poker and Windmaster like asks them to take each other's clothes off. Incredible. And Hua Chang does it like so like carefully and respectfully. Love it. Love it. And yeah, I keep saying Windmaster because y'all know I can't pronounce this name. Shi Qingsheng. It sounds bad when I say it. No, it sounds really bad. Now we're at the coffin scene. Where do I begin with the coffin scene? Okay, because first of all, you have Julien and Hua Chang like eating fucking rats, and they're just having the sweetest conversation ever where Julien is like, man, that person who's your gracious, noble, special someone sure is lucky, idiot. It's you, idiot. And then Hua Chang is like, that I could meet that person. I'm the one who was lucky. I hate them. I hate them. I love them. I'm gonna cry. And then, oh my God. Then they just have that whole conversation where Julien is like, it's you, not the state of you. I can't even, I'm gonna throw up. I can't talk about this. I love it. And then they build the fucking coffin, and they build it so small where they have to lie on top of each other. And I love when it gets pointed out that since they're the ones who built the coffin, they could have made it any size, but they chose to make it so that they would have to lay on top of each other. Iconic. Iconic. They're so stupid. And then they're in the coffin, and fucking Hualian gets an erection for the first time. And he's like, oh, fuck. and you know Hua-Chung is also hard. You know they're both hard down there. And the fact that this is like Hualian's first erection, like he's like going through puberty for the first time right here, falling in love with Hua-Chung. It's incredible. It's incredible. And then it breaks open in front of everyone, and everyone sees that they're like laying on top of each other. Incredible. Incredible. They're so stupid, and they're so in love, and they just, I mean, oh my God. And I mean, this is taking the only one bed trope to the next level. That's why MXTX is on that other level. This is like only one bed, only one coffin, and we have to lay on top of each other. Phenomenal writing. There's so much kissing to exchange spiritual power in this also, and I love that. And I'm just gonna go ahead and skip past Brocade Immortal, skip past Baby Hua-Chung, when they're going up to Mount Tonglu to try and stop another Supreme Ghost King from popping out of the volcano, and Hua-Chung has like returned to his true form. That moment's great. Oh my God, that moment's great. When he like turns back into his true form and he makes it rain blood on everyone except Hualian, then he has like flower petals rain down on him. Shut up. Shut up. I love them. Oh my God. And I skipped over so much. I didn't even talk about like when they're in the skeleton step litter thing and Hua-Chung is like, you want to get married? Just kidding. And then, oh my God, the horny temple makeout when we don't have time. Okay, so going back to the part where they're on Mount Tonglu, Hua-Chung's back in his true form. There are these little tiny moments. And you're gonna be like, you skipped over the horny temple makeout to go into detail about these tiny moments? Yeah, I did, okay? These are the parts that made me go feral. First of all, you have that moment when they're like riding on the ox, on Rainmaster's ox, and Hua-Chung gets off first and he like holds out his hand to help Hualian get down. He didn't need to do that, but he did. And because he's a gentleman, and Hualian is like getting the heart palpitations. He's like, oh my God, Hualian's swooning, and so am I. Also, love the part where, I don't even remember what part this is, but like, there's a part where Hualian falls asleep, kind of leaning on Hua-Chung's shoulder, and all the other guys, like all the other characters are like making a ruckus, making a bunch of noise, and Hua-Chung is like, shut up. Can't you see the love of my life is trying to sleep? Very tiny moment, but I ate it up. Oh my God. And then when the rocks are falling down, and Hua-Chung has his little umbrella to protect Hualian, and everyone else is like, hey, you maybe give us an umbrella to protect us from the rocks? And Hua-Chung's like, no. When we get to the Cavern of 10,000 Gods, everything about this is perfect. You've got Hua-Chung, who had no choice in order to save Hualian from an avalanche, had no choice but to bring him to his secret I'm obsessed with you cave. This part is... Okay, no, I'm gonna talk about it and I'm gonna be coherent. It's gonna be fine. Hua-Chung is so fucking dumb. He covers up all of the statues' faces so that Hualian can't see that every statue in there is of him. And Hualian this naive little bitch, he's so trusting of Hua Cheng that he's like, Hua Cheng is like, no, don't take the veils off their faces. We don't want to look at those. It could be bad. Jilian's like, okay. They're both so stupid. Then when Function and Muqing fuck up everything for Hua Cheng by like revealing his deepest, most personal secret to Jilian, and Jilian finds out that Hua Cheng has been obsessed, in love, worshiping him for like over 800 years now, has all of these like murals dedicated to him, all of the statues are of him. Once that's revealed, it's so like, this whole part is so stressful too, because Function and Muqing, they're so annoying. I fucking hate them. They're so annoying. They're like trying to protect Jilian from Hua Cheng. They're like, he's crazy, you know? And they put like a spell on Jilian so that he's like frozen, so that he can't go running directly to Hua Cheng. And poor Hua Cheng is like so insecure. He's like, oh my God, this is like actually the worst thing that could ever happen. This is my literal worst nightmare. And he just knows that Jilian thinks he's some kind of creepy pervert. And he like finally gets Jilian away from his like stupid little friends. And he finally realizes that Jilian actually has like a spell on him so that he can't move. Hua Cheng, oh my God. He's like gotta tend to his wounds real quick before anything else. Make sure his little frostbite wounds are okay. And then he's like holding Jilian, and he doesn't want to take the little like spell card off his back because he like doesn't want to hear Jilian reject him. And he's like holding him like, how can I possibly let go? I'm crying. And then, oh my God, then you have fucking White No Face making an appearance, and Hua Cheng has to protect Jilian from White No Face. It's all just, oh my God. So then when that's all happened and they finally have the confession scene, this shit is incredible. They finally have the confession scene, and Jilian is like, hey, so am I the noble, gracious, special someone that you were talking about? And Hua Cheng is like, I mean, if you already know from looking at my cave shrine to you, then why ask, you know? Jilian is like, no, but we gotta talk about this, man. And he's like, don't you wanna know, like, how I feel about this? And Hua Cheng is like, he knows he's about to be rejected. At least in his mind, he thinks that's what's gonna happen. He's positive that he's gonna be rejected. And he's like, can you just not tell me? Because like, I cannot deal with being rejected by you. Like, it would break my heart. And Jilian is like, oh, something like this has to be made clear. Which, first of all, the way that he goes about saying that he reciprocates Hua Cheng's feelings is so dramatic. Like, he really drags it out. It's like on competition shows, like on singing competition shows, when they're like, and the winner is, and they like draw it out for a really long time. That's what he does here. Because if it was me, I would simply be like, no, like, I also love you. But Jilian draws it out to get the tension going, to make it really dramatic. And then he just runs up and hugs Hua Cheng from behind. And Hua Cheng is like he's absolutely freaking out. He never expected that Jilian would feel the same way and accept him for what a like weird little stalker freak he is. He never saw that coming. And he's like, oh my God. Oh my God. He doesn't even know what to do. But he hugs Jilian back and he's like, you will be the death of me. I'm gonna die. And then of course, you know, they have to keep running. They got to keep moving, you know? And they got to keep going. But that whole confession scene, I can't be normal about that. I can't be normal about that. I mean, if Hua Chung is freaking out, hey, I'm reading it and I'm freaking out too. So good. And then when they meet back up with like Function and Muqing, and they're like, what are you doing with him? He's fucking creepy. And Jillian is like holding on his arm like, no, I love him. Hua Chung is like, I never expected this to happen. He's pissing his pants. He doesn't know what to do. And just like that whole scene where they're like going through the temple and like, oh my God, it's so good. Jillian finds that ugly ass statue that Hua Chung made of him when he was like a child. And Hua Chung is so embarrassed, you know? But Jillian's like, no, it's cute. All of that scene. I ate it up. I want more of it. It's all I want. It's all I want in life is that scene. So good. And then they have like this dramatic moment, you know, where they're gonna like jump into the volcano together and they kiss passionately, jump in together, and only Jillian goes in. And Hua Chung is like left to just sort of like wait for him. That's so intense, so dramatic, so sad. Then we have all of book 4, which, I mean, really like that whole part where we go really into the like dramatic past, when we get into the Wu-Ming shit. That part, I like can't even, like I have to like actually skip most of that book because just seeing bad things happen to Jillian makes me unhappy. I can't bear it. Me and Hua Chung have a lot in common in that sense, okay? I don't want to read that. So then when Jillian finds the ultimate giant statue that Hua Chung has made in the volcano and uses it to escape White No-Face, and he gets out, and Hua Chung runs up and hugs him, and he's like freaking out. He's been freaking out this whole time. He's like, oh my God, I'm going crazy. Are you okay? I feel so useless that I couldn't help you. And Jillian is like, no, oh my God, no. Like technically you really did help me because you built this fucking giant statue of me. Guys, the way Hua Chung was like so stressed out and them reuniting, like, it's so good, dude. And oh my God, when they kiss in front of everyone, when you know they gotta exchange spiritual power, so they just like passionately kiss in front of everybody, and Pei Ming is like, ho ho. That part, when that happens, love that. Love that, dude. Love that part. And Jillian is all embarrassed. He's like, haha, we were just exchanging spiritual power. And Hua Chung is like, baby, you don't have to be embarrassed. Like, who gives a fuck what they think? Ah, it's so cute. It's so cute. All that shit happens where White No-Face, aka Junwoo, has got Jillian captured, and we find all that out. Of course, Hua Chung has to come save him. Does a great job. Always comes through. And then, we have the part where they're like trying to find the Brocade Immortal in Ling Wen's like room. And they're trying on all these different outfits, and Jillian keeps having Hua Chung like order him to do things so that they can figure out which one it is. But it keeps not working because they're both so like loyal to each other that the Brocade Immortal doesn't even work on them. And Hua Chung would literally, Hua Chung would literally do whatever Jillian asked him to do, regardless of wearing the fucking Brocade Immortal. It's just so important to me. And then Ling Wen comes in, and Ling Wen is like, actually, you're wearing the Brocade Immortal. It just wasn't working because of your little love relationship. And she orders Jillian to fucking punch Hua Chung in the chest super hard. And Jillian doesn't want to do it, but Hua Chung is like, no, do it. And he like takes the hit just so that Jillian won't be like under Ling Wen's like control anymore. He takes that fucking hit, and He's like just been punched in the chest by Julian. He's like, what a beautiful blow. Fucking simp. Fucking simp. He's such a simp. He's like, Julian literally like punches him so hard and he's like, that was incredible. You did such a good job. I hate them. I can't. I hate them. Okay, and now, we gotta really get into it. Because when they're going through the whole like volcano labyrinth and everywhere that they're going, like Hua Cheng is like clearing a path for Jilian, which he didn't have to do. He didn't need to do. And the Imperial Preceptor guy is like, you don't have to do all that. Like, he's not some like weak, like idiot. Like, he does not need your help like that. But Hua Cheng knows that, okay? He knows that. He's just clearing the path for him because he fucking loves him and he is a gentleman and a simp. Love that. Love that. And then, oh my God, I mean, there's so many parts in there. There's so much with like Fengxian and Muqing and like there's so much in that whole section of the book. So many great moments there. There's that moment where like Fengxian is like, I can't believe you let Jilian go save Muqing. Like, I thought you'd be totally against that. And Hua Cheng is like, well, I mean, yeah, Muqing can fucking die for all I care, but literally every decision Jilian makes is the right decision because he's perfect and I would never question him. And Fengxian is like, holy shit, dude, okay, damn, all right, okay, damn, love that part. Love that part. Once their feelings have been admitted, he can just really show what a simp he is and how in love with Jilian he is. And I fucking love that. I fucking love that. Then we get to the whole battle scene. Fighting against Zhenwu, okay? And Hua Cheng is about to fight this dude to the death for Jilian. Fucking taking a blade for him, taking a fucking stab wound for him. He's like really out here trying to protect his man. When he fucking gives Jilian so much spiritual power that it busts his cursed shackles, dude. That it busts his cursed shackles with the love, the full arc of that. I mean, what do you want from me? You know, like, you expect me to just read that and just like, what? Just turn the page and just like keep reading? Like, you expect I'm not gonna fucking scream after reading that? And then, holy shit, dude. Then, you know, we've got the whole Wu Ming revelation. When that's revealed, and Hua Cheng brings back the line of like, it's you, not the state of you. And they're like hugging and crying. And Hua Cheng is fucking fading away because he gave so much spiritual power to Jilian to break those fucking shackles. I mean, shut up. That is so poetic and beautiful. Fucking every line that he says too in that part is just like, oh my God. Every line that he fucking says to Jilian in that whole scene, he's like, to die in battle for you is my greatest honor. Shut up, dude. The whole, like, I mean, we go full circle with every moment, which is why you have to read the sad book, you know, the sad flashback part. We have to read that part, even though it's painful, so that this moment can really pay off. Talking about going back to that little flame part where he's like, yeah, like, I hope to never rest in peace. I mean, that's a fucking insane thing to tell someone. He's like, I love you so much, I never want to rest in peace. Bro. Like, and this is, I say this all the time, but like, when is a man ever gonna love me like Hua Cheng loves Jilian? I mean, this is insane. This is insane simp behavior, and I'm swooning. I'm head over heels for it. We love to see it. Oh my God, then he fucking disperses into butterflies, dude. And when they finally reunite again after all that time apart, and Jilian, you know, kind of like learns from Ling Wen that like, yeah, he already knew, but he gets it confirmed that he's like wearing Hua Cheng's ashes. Then the whole part where like after they've reunited and they're like throwing a party in Jilian's like new and improved remodeled little shrine, and everybody, all all the homies come back, everybody comes to visit, and I just love Hua Chung showing up and like putting his arms around Jilian's waist, and they're really just like acting like such a little married couple in front of like all their friends. Love to see it. Love to see it, dude. And then they go back to their place and they're just like hanging out, you know? And Jilian is like, oh my God, dude, like people were talking about how bad your handwriting is again. And Hua Chung comes up and is like hugging him from behind and like being kind of annoying, but like in a cute way. And then Jilian looks at the fucking tattoo on his arm that he's had the whole time. And he's like, wait, is that my name? Yes, bitch. Of course it's your name. What else would it be? But Hua Chung's handwriting is so bad that he didn't know he had a tattoo of his name on his arm the whole time that he fucking carved in when he was like a child. I mean, are you kidding me? This dude, they're so in love. You know, it's like people are always like, Hua Chung and Jilian invented love. And yes, they did. Yes, they did invent love. Yes, they did. I'm fucking drenched in sweat, panting and screaming over here. Like, that was so long. Editing this is gonna be a nightmare. Watching this back is gonna be a nightmare because I'm so unhinged talking about how much I love them and how much I love how much they love each other. But I just love them so much. And if you get it, you get it, okay? If you get it, you get it. So those were my favorite romantic moments from the book. It was literally just me like reenacting the book while like sweating and incoherent, trying to describe every moment from the book. It's like, dude, I love them so much. So if you love Jilian and Hua Chung as much as I do, I mean, you must, if you made it to this part of the video, you must be like deep in this fandom if you made it to the end of the video. Like if you're still here, you're in it. You're in it, dude. And I appreciate you for that. I appreciate that you're in the trenches with me if you're still here. So thank you guys so much for watching this completely incoherent video. Be sure to check out my other Heaven Officials Blessing video if you haven't seen it already, and keep checking out my other videos. If I didn't mention your favorite romantic moment from the book, leave a comment and tell me which moment I should have included. And thank you guys so much for watching. Like and subscribe. And I hope you guys have a great rest of your day.